Tuesday, June the 7th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East here along with you. Let's get right into it. Here's your numbers from yesterday. Had very, very humid conditions out there, and with time, more and more in the way of rain developed into the region, basically associated with Tropical Storm Colin. In the Triad, you had low to mid 80s for highs, a little cooler in Charlotte due to clouds and rain arriving earlier in many locations. Now let's take a look at temperatures this morning. It is still a very humid start to the day in most spots, and a soggy morning underway along the coast, including the Outer Banks. That's a live look as I cut the video during the 5 o'clock hour from the Avalon Pier web camera there at Kill Devil Hills. Still the rain from Colin impacting the eastern Carolinas. Temperature 72 degrees there at Kill Devil Hills, with a southwest wind at 7 miles per hour. All right, so this was the radar yesterday and then into the overnight hours last night. And this is, again, all basically rain associated with Tropical Storm Colin, the center of which is situated right now, as I cut the video, right about there. All right, so again, this is tropical rains that have been moving through the eastern Carolinas. And rain totals over the past 48 hours have been pretty generous in spots. Widespread 2 to 4 inch rain totals with some localized higher amounts here and there. Let me take a look at the viewer photo for the day. I selected this one from David Massey in Burlington. Some nice looking scenes there. Some leftover clouds from the showers and storms right at sunset time made for a really pretty scene. All right, now for the past couple of hours, early this morning, this last little batch of showers you see here moving through the area between Greensboro and Raleigh, that's the final little batch of rain for quite a while. As a much drier setup's about to move on in. Still a very, again, soggy morning over the eastern parts of the Carolinas as Colin is continuing to play a role. So let me show you the latest on Colin here in your tropical update. First of all, not a very organized tropical storm. The satellite imagery showing a pretty disorganized system. There's the core of the system there off the Georgia, Florida, and southern South Carolina coast. As of the 5 a.m. advisory, 50 mile per hour sustained winds located about 110 miles northeast of Jacksonville. But look at that motion. It is moving northeast at 31 miles per hour. This is very, very quickly going to head out into the open waters of the North Atlantic. And that's it from Colin. Our big weather player, once Colin completely departs the region, is this cold front. And that is a leading edge to substantially drier air, a big air mass change about to unfold for us. For instance, in the Triad viewing area, watch our dew points today. Here we are this morning. As you get into the evening, much, much drier air begins to take hold. Here's your highs. Still quite warm, but again, as we get into the afternoon, it will be noticeably less muggy in many spots across the region. Then a really, really nice weather setup for the midweek period. There's your setup tomorrow. Lots of Wednesday sunshine, and look at those highs. Comfortable stuff overall. Thursday, very much the same. There's your Thursday highs. And watch these dew points here. This is as we look at this evening, and then watch as we go into tomorrow. And then on Thursday, those lower dew point temperatures sticking around for the next couple of days. All right, now enjoy it, because watch what happens as we get into Saturday and Sunday. We get this big ridge developing in, and a snapshot of highs here across the region this weekend. I think this Charlotte number a little too low. Most likely 90s on the way, I think pretty much region-wide, and I'll show you the specific modeling here in just a second. All right, so on to the more detailed computer modeling here. This is the European model chart here, big trough in the eastern part of the country currently. That's what it looks like on the height fields. But notice as you get out to Thursday, the trough is exiting, and then by Saturday, that ridging is certainly exerting its influence over the area. So let me quickly step you through day by day. This is this afternoon and the evening on the GFS. Colin way off to the northeast. That drier air taking hold. Good looking setup for Wednesday. There's your dew points early tomorrow evening on the GFS. Pretty low. High temperature forecast for the GFS. Also pretty comfortable. I've gone a couple of notches above this in most spots, but still a noticeably drier and somewhat cooler weather setup. And then look at Thursday morning lows off the GFS computer model. Again, I have not gone quite that cool, but it looks like a refreshing setup at nighttime here for the next several nights. As you get out to a Thursday, still looking good. Friday, the little backdoor cold front on the GFS tries to move in here. And I think the thunderstorm opportunities you see here probably overdone. I'm not overly optimistic about rain chances Friday into the weekend. GFS on Saturday tries to pop some scattered storms. Can't rule that out. But again, I think that's probably a pretty limited chance overall. Now look at this. These are the dew point temperatures by Saturday evening. Those dew points back up to 70 or better in many spots. And the temperatures are going to be climbing as well. These are the GFS high temperatures for Saturday. Now again, the numbers tempered a bit here around the Triad and into the northeastern North Carolina on the GFS due to the thunderstorms it's showing. The European model is much drier. And look at these highs that it's showing on Saturday. That's toasty. Sunday, this is the GFS computer model, and again, there's the European computer model for Sunday. That's nasty stuff. This is probably too hot, but I do think the idea is very valid of a humid and very, very steamy, hot weekend ahead with highs well into the 90s for many of us around the region, and there could even be some folks in South Carolina or maybe the Sandhills that try to make a run up toward 100. I think the wet soil that will probably still to some degree be in place may fight that 100-degree mark from happening. But either way, it looks like a hot and steamy weekend ahead. All right, that is it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Everybody have a wonderful day, and God bless.